Lost, Book 5 of the Two-Timer series. Written by D.B. Watson, narrated by A.J. Carter. Chapter 1. The Past. Devin Murphy sat in the back seat of an unmarked police car as he was escorted to a safe house. He was an eyewitness to some shady dealings that involved a man named Piper Monroe. Two plainclothes police officers was hiding Devin before they informed their superiors of their findings. At least, that's what the officers told Devin. It was just the three of them as they drove to a private cabin in the mountains. The winding road seemed to go on forever as Devin stared out his window at the night-covered woods as a soft rain fell. He didn't know the officers well enough to start a conversation, and the men weren't forthcoming. One of them, a white man, overweight, chain-smoked, blowing his clouds out of a cracked window. The other, a Hispanic man in better shape than his partner, slept through most of the ride. Both men were older than Devin, wearing plain suits with no ties. As much as he wanted to get away from Piper, Devin wasn't sure he could trust the men he had witnessed in drug dealings, participating in pornography, and managing Piper's prostitution rings. One of them even dragged Devin back to Piper when he tried his seventh attempt at running away. Piper wanted to get Devin hooked on drugs so he'd comply with whatever he wanted, since Piper would control his addiction. Lucky for Devin, one of the men who was ordered by Piper to give Devin his first dose of heroin instead made a deal with him. They claimed they were undercover police officers and promised they'd get Devin to a new and better life. Piper promised him the same thing. That's what dragged him into his sleazy acts. Devin had no choice but to trust them. He wanted out. They arrived at a small mountain town with a tavern/motel, a hardware store, a smoke shop, a gas station/bus depot that had one bus parked out front.
"We'll stop here to get gas and something to eat,"
said the chain smoker.
"Good. I'll call the station to give an update,"
replied his partner. He looked back at Devin, who locked eyes with him.
"You hungry, kid?"
Devin only nodded his head, annoyed at being called kid. He was in his late 20s.
"Take the kid to the tavern while I go get gas,"
said Chain Smoker. They exited the car and walked to the hole in the wall that from the outside looked unappealing. When they entered, Devin was surprised to see how welcoming it looked, with clean floors and furniture. A bar sat to the left and a dining area to the right. He noticed the place wasn't full, and there was no host or hostess, so they seated themselves.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?